Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Married at First Sight, Season 19, Episode 9.
We need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, and hype the video. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Everyone gets boxes of toys for their intimacy time. Belinda is not into it. She's been there, done that.
Belinda, you're in a new marriage at first sight. You know what I'm saying? Don't yuck his yum yet.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like, play with the toys.
Okay.
Put it on him at least.
Yeah. Well, he did put it on his ears. I
mean, because she definitely wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
I understand though. I hear you.
So Chad and Belinda go to get beers. They talk about their upbringing, how she was raised in a small town. He was raised pretty much in a bigger city, and they play some Jenga, and it seemed like just some good time of getting to know each other.
Just vibing.
Yeah.
Just vibing. Yep.
Jaylen and Josh meet up with Pastor Cal and Dr. Pia. So Jaylen has lied about him. Jaylen is upset because Josh lied about him not unfollowing his ex.
Yeah.
He talks about how he panic responded saying that he unfollowed his ex when he didn't. So she was cheated on in the past, and it brings up the idea that it could happen again, and she felt like the lie was unnecessary. She's trying to figure out if it's a red flag and to walk away or to try to work this out. Now, Dr. Pia is explaining to her that because you're married, you made a different level of commitment, and you need to figure out what does the repair look like and not focus on being hypervigilant about past experiences. So Josh also... it's up to him to decide if it benefits him to engage in behavior that will trigger his wife. So Jaylen agrees that she can forgive him, although it doesn't come across sincere. And Pastor Cal lets her know that if you truly forgive him, it means that you're going to release your judgment, and people have to do the work in order for marriage to work. Now she's wondering if he's a people pleaser, and to appease her in the moment and then switch things up on the back end.
That's fair to think that.
She was glad that he didn't mind if she wouldn't want to go to festivals. He said it wasn't that big of a deal, but now she's not too sure about that, if he's going to end up resenting her because of it. Because she does not want to go to Burning Man. She doesn't want to go to big festivals, and she is not into camping.
Oh, wow.
So he is trying to figure out what a happy medium would look like, because those things are a big part of how he views himself.
Yeah.
And Jaylen says that you only have different hobbies for so long, and maybe he should be with somebody, or you can only have different hobbies with the person that you're with for so long, but maybe you should be with somebody who's into the same stuff that you're into.
Yeah.
But Josh doesn't want anyone else. He doesn't want his hobbies to be the center of his relationship. So they both enjoy the community vibe and aspects of life, and they are open to finding out what type of what they can create for themselves in their relationship to foster that same sense of community. She's into concerts, so that's something that she would be open and willing to do.
Yeah.
So Pastor Cal and Dr. Pia encourage them to remember their core values of why they want to be with each other.
I feel like we lost the plot in this discussion, right? Because number one, how did we get to festivals where the whole conversation is, hey, this guy still getting DMs from his ex, right? I understand that we put one thing to bed, but we started up another thing, right? I feel like the DMing and the following your ex, listen here, we don't do that in this family over here. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I know some people that's still friends with their ex, and guess what? Kudos to y'all, you know? But I think when she laid down her, like, listen, I think he's a people pleaser. He says one thing, and then he's just trying to appease me in the moment. And, like, now I see it as a red flag. I think to basically just to reassure her, like, hey, marriage is a different level of commitment, and you just have to stay through and not have judgment based on what you've been through. No, we need to get down to the nitty gritty of, like, what's the relationship that you have with this ex? You get what I'm saying? When it comes to Josh, right? Because I do believe, even though I don't have that experience for myself, I do believe there is a such thing as if the relationship was such a long time ago that they can be platonically friends, right?
Yeah.
But I don't have that experience myself, right? So we need to know the contents of their relationship, Josh and his ex, to the point to where he did not unfollow her, right? To where there's DMs in his, to where he's getting DM'd and things like that while he's married. And he really needs to, what's the word? Express that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Just off of that alone, do you have anything to add to that part of it?
Yeah. I do like the fact that she honed in on the fact that he was a people pleaser.
Yes.
And I think that is a big issue as far as the relationship of, are you just going to panic respond to things so that way you give me what you think I want versus me actually knowing where you truly stand.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that she honed in on that, but I do agree with you is that I think it would have been a benefit to dive a little bit deeper into why he feels the need to continue to follow this person. And I don't necessarily am not going to put it into the aspect of him having a possibility of cheating, even though that's not beyond the realms of possibility. That is very possible. But I think it's interesting for the fact that this person is very important to you. Why are they so important to you? And going into that, because if you can explain that to me and I can have a better understanding, then maybe you don't need to unfollow them.
Yeah.
But for you to just kind of sweep it under the rug, it doesn't give me much clarity on what's going on.
No.
So,
and now we get to the festival part, right? I'm about to say two things. You and your partner can have separate hobbies and have a happy marriage.
Agreed.
I don't think Josh can do that, though.
Agreed.
I'm
like, this is like so much of like your being a festival.
I think Jaylen could do it. You get what I'm saying? But I don't think, even though objectively, you and your partner can really be into two separate things and really just come back together. Look, this is what I did. This is what you did. You had a good day. I had a great day. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think Josh can do that.
He needs to say that then.
Josh will begin to resent her.
Yeah.
Right? If she, especially, I think out of all of them, it seems like she's the most scared of Burning Man. You get what I'm saying? Because I think out of all of them, he wants her to go to Burning Man for sure.
Yeah.
So she's scared of the man on fire.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that if he goes by himself, I don't think he can compartmentalize of like, this is something that I like to do and my wife don't like to do this. He's going to now view his wife as on the outs, and he is going to basically, whoever's part of that community, because he loves saying that word, whoever's part of that community, that's when you may have some infidelity, you may have some type of thing. Josh seemed like the type of person to resent and basically make the minor things major.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? What is your thoughts with the whole festival going thing and different hobbies and Jaylen I think Jaylen feels like if I don't do his hobbies, because I already tried to say no a couple times, if I don't do his hobbies, he's going to feel some type of way.
I think she's fair for seeing that. And honestly, at this point, I wouldn't believe anything Josh has to say.
Facts.
Don't sit up here and tell me, no, it's fine. And okay, we'll figure out a happy medium. No, because now I know you just say things to say things.
Oh, yeah. People pleaser.
So now, because I know that, I don't know if I can continue to work on this because I don't know what's real and what's not. I have no strong footing or no ground. So I just think the fact that he really like places his identity in festivals, I wish the experts would have talked to him about that.
Yeah.
And really dug into, okay, I understand that this is an interest and this is a passion, something that you enjoy, but you got to be more realistic here. This is just not it. Like, anyway, I'm ready to move on.
Yeah.
Megan and Derek do a cold plunge. She loves them, and she talks about how it's about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I thought it was so ironic that she said that.
Oh, I hate when she talks because it's lies, man. It's like she don't practice what she preaches in any way. And it really burns me up.
And so I'm just like, okay, this is the only place she can do that is in this cold plunge, because outside of this in life, this lady is not comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Not at all.
So he did 2 minutes and 30 seconds. She wanted to make it a competition, so she did 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Whoopie-doo.
And Derek finds it inspiring. And I was like, is it?
That's why I'm like, both of these people are weird to me now.
Yeah, he still hasn't said I love you yet. And to me, I'm just like, look, you want to sit in a cold plunge for a long time, cool. But does that really help us with our communication and like enjoy being like in a relationship together? No. So I don't find it that inspiring, and I don't think Derek should find it that inspiring.
Not at all. Let's keep going.
Jaylen and Josh. So he's open to finding that freedom of the festivals in a new activity.
Okay.
She wants to make sure that he's not really upset about her not wanting to go to Burning Man. And he tells her, I just want you to give it a chance.
Do you see what I mean? Peer pressure.
I can't do this. Jaylen, do not do this. Because just with the experts, he's talking about compromising. Now that the people left, he's like, well, just give it a try. Okay, now you're pressuring. Now you're pressuring.
There's porta potties out there. I can't do any place that got porta potties. I'm sorry.
So he tries to compare this to the fact that her passion is cycling, and this is his passion. And she tells him cycling is 45 minutes. Like, Get real. Now she feels like she's in a corner, and he was saying it wasn't a big deal, but now it is.
Okay.
So it's taken him until this moment to realize how important Burning Man is to him. To him, it's like telling her not to be a cycle instructor. And she says, I don't see us working if it's that important to you. Yeah. She's not going to force him to say goodbye to these festivals. She ends up rolling her eyes. He doesn't like that. She makes it clear that she is not interested in going to a lot of festivals. And now he's wondering, how does he find that passion? The thought of giving it up is hard, and he starts crying. And she tells him that she's not even asking him to give it up. Now, at his core, he wants a strong community because he didn't grow up in a normal household. Yeah. And he doesn't typically go out and search for communities because he's an introvert. And it's hard for him to find something to be a part of. When he was younger, he couldn't play sports. So he never has had a large community that he felt like he could relate to. And she agrees that they can work on finding a community.
First of all, she's a cyclist instructor when it comes to fitness. Yeah. This is not just a passion. This is also how she gets paid. Yes. Hopefully she gets paid. Yeah. Right? I'll let you go first on this.
I think we got to normalize telling people when their passions are dumb.
Whoa. Okay. Okay.
I think this is something we have to normalize. Yeah, because...
Is it dumb?
Yes.
Blair, is it dumb?
I'm sorry. Like, the passion is dumb. Like, if you enjoy it, you want to do it, that's great. But to have a passion for a festival in the desert, I mean, the most thing I could say is like, okay, great. You have a passion for it. Be an organizer. Create, you know what I'm saying? Like situations and environments for people. But for you going out and doing this and having to have it be such a center pillar of your life is stupid.
Okay. I'm not in the business of telling people their passions are stupid.
This one is.
Burning Man is such it's such
they had a dust bowl this past year and they could barely get them people up out of there and then people couldn't breathe. Come on now.
Blair.
Okay.
Burning Man is such a unique experience that I haven't heard a lot of people that experience. I'm going to be honest. I haven't heard a lot of people who experience Burning Man say they had a bad time at Burning Man. I'm going to be fair with that.
Yeah,
right?
Because they're into that stuff.
I know with me, there's no bathrooms, there's no Chris. You get what I'm saying? There's no roof, there's no Chris, right? Here's the thing about Josh. He just don't respect her answer. You get what I'm saying? And he's making these festivals his whole personality. Outside of Burning Man, like what goes on at these festivals? Yeah. And when I say what goes on at these festivals, Josh, what do you be doing at these festivals to where like you have a community to where they be like, oh, there go Josh. Do you dress up a certain way to where like you like now you have an alter ego? Do you be on drugs? Do you be kissing everybody?
And maybe I have a bad idea of what Burning Man is, but I think I'm kind of spot on. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I probably won't believe you. I think it's a place for people to be off the grid and to be the people that they can't be in their day-to-day life. And
what do that mean?
That means just the freedom, the debauchery.
It is freedom. Debauchery is a little far.
I think it can go across the spectrum. Mm-hmm. So, like you said, I don't know what Josh is doing out there, but
it's drugs. It's drugs. No. Like, let's not talk around it. It's drugs, right? Yeah. Usually, people who go to Burning Man and things of that nature, it's a very high experience, and to where it's a survival thing, to where everybody's there in the middle of the desert, and you have to depend on each other to make it through these days and things like that. Yeah. But everybody's high. You get what I'm saying? Like everybody's high out of their mind. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying. Like sure, you did some of that stuff when you was younger. Yeah. Maybe, your wife is cool with you going out there and getting your little, freak on, whatever it is that you do out there. But I do think at a certain point, this is not a lifelong hobby. Okay. Yeah, it's just not.
It's weird because the reason why I have a problem with him putting this festivals on a pedestal, not just Burning Man, but just festivals in general, he's talking as if marriage is not supposed to change his life, right? Yeah. And then eventually, and that's the thing, eventually fatherhood is going to change your life. So when it comes to your wife, as we see now, you go put the festivals over her. Okay, when it comes to your child and things like that, especially someone who didn't grow up with a good household, when it comes to your mother and you, even though you had a daddy, you get what I'm saying? Are you now going to leave her at home with the kids because Burning Man coming up? I got to go to Burning Man. Mm-hmm. Festivals coming up. There's always a festival almost every other week in the summer. You get what I'm saying? And my thing about it is we just want, it just seemed like an unhealthy way that he's handling it. If he just like festivals, there's people that like concerts. I love live music. You get what I'm saying? Because I am a musician. So, and
that's fine. But for it to be like this important is a bit extreme.
And if Blair was to say, I don't like live music, I like a DJ, I'd be like, great, I get to enjoy this by myself. You get what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be with someone at the event to where they just feel disgruntled. But I don't think Josh can handle that. Josh is going to resent her if he's not, if she don't want to do what he want to do.
So Rhonda takes Pat to her dad's gravesite.
Oh my God.
She's talking about how she grew up and where she grew up. And he's driving, trying to keep up with her story. But she's irritated because she feels like he's not listening. Mm-hmm. He tries to share some things about himself, but she tells him to stop because she's trying to be vulnerable about her life right now.
Stop right there. Rhonda, you're so disrespectful. It just has to be said, right? It's not all about you. We already going to see your dad. You get what I'm saying? And you're talking in long, like, novels, like basically novels on top of novels that I'm not going to pick up on everything. How old do you think I am? I'm not 22.
Yeah, he's driving at the same time.
He's driving at the same time. And when he tried to relate to you, I think he was talking. I think I was telling you about it. I think it was something about Playboy or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he was just trying to relate. Sometimes people relate or try to put in a little 2 cents to let you know that, hey, I did hear what you said. You get what I'm saying? And now she's like, we're not talking about your daddy. We're talking about my daddy. We talk about my papa. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And Patrick have more patience than me. Because I would have, for one, I wouldn't even been going with you to your daddy's gravesite and things like that. But it's like, you cannot be talking to me with like 1,000 words and I get one word in and then all of a sudden I'm criticized. Yeah. I just can't live like that, So
they get to the gravesite. Already she's telling him, don't step on nobody's graves.
We already know. Okay, we got graveyard etiquette. Like we know that. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm not gonna step on Bobby. You get what I'm saying?
And Betty Lou.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So she asks him if there's anything he wants to say, and he tells him, "You do it."
He said, "Hey, nice to meet you."
She asked for a moment by herself. Yeah. But honestly, what was he supposed to say? Like, why? And that's the thing.
Why are you asking me to speak to your dead daddy?
Exactly. Like, she's putting him in that position of being questioned, being criticized. You need to say the right thing to my daddy. What you trying to say? What you going to say to him? And he just said, "Nice to meet you, sir." And he got kicked up out the grave.
Go walk. And take the stuff back to the car, okay? And don't step on nobody's grave while walking back to the car. Like, it's just weird, right? It's just weird behavior. But okay, Rhonda, I see you, okay?
Yeah, so Pat doesn't know what to do. He's trying to give her some space. She's very emotionally charged. She over there on the ground talking to her dad, talking about how hard this is. Mm-hmm. So they get back in the car. They're driving back. And she's talking about how her dad passed 44 years ago when she was 19. Yeah. He couldn't quite catch how long it was, and he asked to repeat it, and she said, "I just said it." And she says, pretty much, it's interesting what you can and what you can't hear. Mm-hmm. She's just talking about her dad dying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's stop right here for a second, right? What are your thoughts as someone who have living parents, right?
Yeah.
Is it in any way, I'm trying to find, is there any bail out of jail you could give Rhonda for this? Like, is this any? I can't find it.
Honestly, no. I mean, she's very emotionally charged today, but at the same time, she's not acting any different than how she normally acts. Yeah. So I really can't. Like, she's just doing the most. That's why I kept my sign the same, because it's like to the second degree.
Yeah,
now.
She needs to, right? Now, listen here. What I'm about to say, I have the credentials to say. Right? Yeah. I don't want y'all repeating after me now, because y'all may not have the credentials. Some of y'all may do. But as someone who have 2 dead parents, you know what I'm saying? I had a mother that died when I was 12, and I had a father who died before I was 30, and I'm not even 35, right? But I can say this with all confidence in my chest. Rhonda, no one have to care about your dead daddy. Mm. You met my father, at least.
Yeah.
Right? At no time did I made you care about my dead mama. Mm-hmm. Times that we go to Alabama to visit family and things of that nature, I don't be like, one place we need to go to? we need to go visit mama. You get what I'm saying? Because that happened during my time, during the time where, before I even knew you. You get what I'm saying? So to put the burden on you to basically, hey, this is an important day. And the thing about it is, it's one thing if every day wasn't important to Rhonda, but today's a very important day. We're going to visit Papa, and I want you to speak to him. What would you tell him? You get what I'm saying?
Yanla.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Talk to the dirt.
Talk to the dirt. You get what I'm saying? And he just said, "Nice to meet you." You know what I mean? Because what does he supposed to say? Because some people really have some. When it comes to grave sites, people have different beliefs when it comes to grave sites.
Yes.
You have some people that believes that, hey, when I talk to my dead person that's in the gravesite, they talk back to me through signs and things like that. You have some people that believes that, you know what, their body is there, but their spirit is not there. So I don't go back to the gravesite for some people. So for me, I would never put the burden on my partner to care about my dead parent if they never met him. You know what I'm saying? Even if they met him, like it just came off as, you know what, Rhonda, maybe you needed to do this for yourself. Because at the end of the
by
day,
yourself.
Yeah, by yourself. Because obviously, at your big age, you're not over your parents. You're not over your father's death. And here's the thing about it: you probably never be over your parents' death, right? But it's hard for someone to meet you when you're that emotionally charged all the time, right? And you're putting a lot on him to remember when he died. You get what I'm saying? To speak to him, it just came off as, you know what, Rhonda, maybe you needed this. And I should have just stayed in the car, and then I'll be there for you when you get back to the car.
Yeah, so he ended up having to pull over and tells her that he's frustrated by the fact that she's always scolding him.
Facts.
She doesn't recognize that he is trying his best, and he tells her, you want me to be more open, but you shut me down when I'm trying to talk to you. So Rhonda thanks him for sharing that, and she apologizes for making him feel that way. It's important for her to be heard and seen, and she struggles with that with him, and she's asking for a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
He feels like he's under a test, and she apologized for that. And, you know, it's happened multiple times where she's been vulnerable and he hasn't heard her. So he extends an apology. He's trying to work on listening and hearing her. He realizes he's been stagnant the last few years and he wants to continue to grow.
Yeah. Here's the thing about it. You keep asking for grace, but yet you're the one that gets frustrated when Pat breathes.
Like, you're not, like, Rhonda is asking for grace, but you're actually not improving or doing anything better.
You haven't done anything better.
I can see Pat holding his tongue, trying not to bring up
100%.
anything, relate to anything, and allow you to have the floor, but you are literally making no centimeter steps to get to where you need to be. And I think Pat needs to stop apologizing and start packing his bags.
No, he needs to.
So
he needs to, because here's the dangerous thing about therapy, right? When people go to therapy and they really don't want to change, they just want to get tools to basically stay where they are. That's what Rhonda's doing. And just
using all the talk.
She's using all the talking and the whole, you know what, I see the error of my ways. But can you see the error of your ways in the moment? You get what I'm saying? Do I got to pull over the car every time? You get what I'm saying? So she's using all these things she learned in therapy to basically reinforce the person that she is and be like, you know what it is? I just want to be heard and be seen. You get what I'm saying? Well, what do that have to do with me? That means you lack empathy, because you keep thinking about yourself and what you need to get in the moment. But I think Rhonda... Listen, I'm listening to them kids, man. Mama crazy. You know what I mean? And Pat, I think Pat did a good job of not shrinking. He actually said, listen here, I feel some type of way, right? But I feel like Rhonda still did not hear him, because how did Patrick end up apologizing at the end?
Yeah.
Like I am a big believer of being wrong is sometimes not a collaborative thing. You know what I'm saying? There's a such thing as, you know what, I'm wrong by myself, I apologize. You wrong by yourself, you need to apologize. I wanted to see Rhonda apologize more in this moment, so I can know for sure that she see the effort in her ways, besides putting it in a way to where now Pat gotta apologize for, you know what, I've been stagnant in my relationship. Sure, but what do they got to do with this?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So we move on to Will and Britney. Britney thought at this point that they would be in love. Dr. Pia and Pastor Cal arrive. They talk about how they've had good days, enjoy being around each other, and he says there really aren't any issues. But Britney doesn't know where he stands, so that's an issue for her. He says that she asks him frequently if he'll say yes on decision day. He'll say yes today, but he doesn't know how he'll feel on that day, and he gets that doesn't really make her feel secure. Britney says that if she does something to upset him, she's concerned that he is going to have doubt in his mind, and it feels as though she's walking on eggshells. Will didn't know that until this moment, and she agrees and understands because she never expressed that to him.
Fact.
They ask if he knows or wants to provide a secure environment, knows how or wants to provide a secure environment for her. And he didn't realize that he wasn't, and he needs to figure out how to do that. So they've never really discussed where they're going to live after the process. And he says that he can move in with her, but he's keeping his place. Now they're trying to tell him that, okay, why would you want to keep his place? He says it's close to the airport for work, also close to downtown for them to go visit and hang out. And Dr. Pia encourages him to phrase it to be more inclusive of the fact that it's both of y'all spaces to enjoy what benefits can come from there.
Yeah.
So Dr. Pia also lets him know that your reaction is normally a rebuttal to what people are saying, and Britney isn't really communicating what she's feeling. So in a marriage, you can't hold back. You have to let the walls down or you won't make it, and you have to be vulnerable. Now Britney starts crying because she didn't think she was guarded. Will does hold and console her, and to them, you know, it feels like they have an emotional closeness.
Whew. Did you like this meeting?
No.
Ooh, you actually surprised me with that. Help me.
No, I didn't like it. I look, I get that the experts can't come in with a heavy hand because they're trying to guide people in the right direction. I think with Britney, I was a bit frustrated with her because it's like they had to coo her to get out what it is that she's feeling.
Yeah.
And she does have some type of like wall or blockage up to where she'll be emotional and frustrated, but she won't exactly say the things in order to put it out there to request a direct answer. It's as though like I'm not going to say she's comfortable with the vagueness and the uncertainty, but she doesn't push it. She doesn't press it. From what I'm seeing, she just gets upset about it. And with Will, he's giving the type of answers that he always does, to where, you know, he's answering self-servingly. They're trying to make him sound more inclusive, but I want him to sound how he sounds so Britney can see the rawness of what he's saying,
and that's
and
what
not
he said.
trying to interpret a different meaning. Because if you're not going to say it the way that you mean it, that doesn't help me either. And I can't be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't think inclusively. And I get it. They went from single to being married, so there is going to be a period of transition, but this is just how he communicates. And there's no way to actually come to a common ground with him communicating in this way. And I don't think she should wait around for him to figure it out, if he even wants to.
Let me give both of them some hits on the hand, right? Let me ask you this question, Blair. He says that she frequently asks, will he say yes on decision day? She said, no, I don't. He said, do you think she frequently asks him every day?
Yes.
Me too. And that can be tiring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because today's not decision day. And you're trying to basically skip the actual steps to get to decision day to basically say, are you gonna say yes? Because I'm already there.
But the thing is,
I'm already there.
Yeah, she wants to feel secure in the relationship, but that's not going to do it for her.
No,
especially with how he answers questions.
Right. So the thing about it is, she just figured that I think there was a diary cam when she was in the car. She just said, like, I just thought that we would be further along than where we are right now. And I'm just like, that's your problem, Britney. Right. I keep telling you, you have no experience in this. So your expectations, you need to manage it, right? Now, to get to Will, right? Will said, basically, where are you going to live, the experts asked. And he said, well, you know, I live here, but I'm definitely going to keep my apartment. I'm keeping my apartment. And I don't care the explanation that Will tried to give to basically try to pretty it up at the end. That's not what he really meant. He did not want to keep his apartment because of the whole, you know, it is closer to downtown, and maybe if we want to have a night out in the city, we can just go to my spot, or, you know, it is closer to the airport, you know, so, like, that's not why he said that, right? So don't fall for it. The thing about it is, y'all gave him too much space and room to basically explain himself.
To finesse
and
something.
he just finessed his way out of basically being held accountable of that he's in it for self at the moment, right? So that's why I'm like, we can't say that Will, because I think Will communicates intentionally. I think he's intentionally unclear. You get what I'm saying? Just so whenever you try to,
you can't pin him.
Whenever you try to box him in, you can't pin him 100%. But Britney do need to be vulnerable, and she cannot, to your point, whatever she's holding it in her head, she got to say it, right? And I understand that while she was crying, Will pulled her in, and the expert saw that as a sign of, listen, he cares about you. You see how he pulled you in while you was crying and stuff like that.
Don't tell me that.
Don't tell me that. Because what did I say that Will view her as? He views her as a baby. Right? And if there's a crying baby, right, just because the parent picks it up and try to quiet it down doesn't mean it's the best parent in the world and things of that nature. Don't fall for the performative the performative expressions of love when he can't even say the words out of his mouth and things like that. Mm-hmm. But I do think Britney needs to chill for her sake, not for the relationship, for her sake, by herself. Manage your expectations. You get wherever you need to get to, Britney, fast. You can't trust what you feel because you get there in one day, in 1 week, you know?
Dr. P and Pastor Cal visit Megan and Derek. Derek doesn't mind Zoe and everything that comes with her now. So they both say that they're in a good spot now with communication. He is more passive. She's more aggressive. It can be a negative feedback loop where, one pushes in, the other person pulls back.
That don't even make no sense, but I hear you.
He told Megan that he loved her and that shifted things in the relationship, and she feels a lot more secure now. And I just think that he's just appeasing her.
Yeah.
And he's going to resent her in the future. I think she's going to resent him for things that she's not getting because they're not actually communicating.
Facts.
They're just not doing the work. Pat and Rhonda.
Here we go.
She's realizing her biggest insecurity is being chosen.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from her dad because he wanted a boy, got 2 girls. One of the girls was sporty. Rhonda was a girly girl, and she felt like her dad chose her sister over her. So she's also been in a few toxic relationships in her marriage. She was too loud, flirty, and she was yelled and screamed at in those relationships. Mm-hmm. It feels like if he's not interested in knowing her, then she's not being chosen. So he apologizes, says that he does want her to feel heard. Yeah. He chooses her. And, she tells him that they have to be patient with each other and give each other grace. You're not going to patient and grace me to a grave. You hear me?
Yeah. You're not going to do that.
You're not going to do that to me. No. If I don't see improvement in the things that we've talked about, and now you've went from being the person getting yelled at to the one doing the yelling, it's a problem. Yeah. And you need to stop. You need to stop, man.
And here's the thing about it. I'm tired of your epiphanies too. Okay? Because all these diatribes that she keep having, she's talking 100 sentences to his one. And it's like, if we're just vibing, imagine we just sitting around and we just not saying anything, but we just enjoying each other. And then she just comes in with you know what I just realized where my biggest insecurity comes from? I can hear it in his head like, oh boy, here we go. Now I got to be very vigilant and listen because she might test me after this. And it just seems like whenever Rhonda talks, I need to hear more apologies more than epiphanies.
But I will say this. I think it might just be a difference between like a man and a woman thing, because I don't mind hearing like what drives her or what makes her think this way.
Sure.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind hearing that because I feel like that gets you to kind of learn about the person. At the end of the day, we want the action to be changed.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes with guys, like that's kind of where your focus is at. But I do like to know the why. I feel like that helps me with understanding.
Box it with an apology.
Okay.
Box it with, because it's very different with, you know what happened? My daddy had two girls, but he wanted 2 boys. Remember that.
He said 2, 1, 2. What's the number?
Right. And then
don't ask again.
Exactly.
For clarity.
And then like we was dead broke, but while we was broke, he would pay for my other sister to have tennis lessons. What was the sport? You get what I'm saying? like it just
basketball.
It's
no,
like,
Pat.
Like so that's why I'm like, that is basically her talking about herself again.
Yeah.
Right? Besides, because she's talking about herself, but trying to package it as if she's talking about them, but she's really just talking about herself.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, maybe I have the gift of actually like discerning and actually see it, because this sounds very different than, you know what, Pat, I just want to apologize again for yesterday because I put a lot of pressure on you. I didn't give you grace. And what that does, that's open him up to listen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you lead with an apology, end with an apology, besides epiphany. I just found out that's where my insecurity come from. I was never chosen. Now it put the onus on me to be like, I choose you. And I have to show it. It's like, nah, man, I'm not falling for it. I'm with Blair. I'm packing my bags.
Will and Britney go to her aunt's house. All her family's there. Will gets to meet everyone. They're looking at her baby pictures, talking about stories. And her mom is super excited because marriage is what Britney's always wanted. But, you know, she lets her know that you have to work at it and you have to choose your battles. And anything you saw your parents do the opposite.
Yeah.
So the family is super supportive, happy for them. They even share a couple kisses and the family's rooting them on. So I think this was good for them. I think it was good for Britney. It seemed like it was a bit of encouragement for them to find each other in a way. It's just not going to be sustainable because they just both don't communicate well. And I just also feel like Will's form of communication is very difficult to get through to.
Yeah.
I feel like you would have to know him in order to be able to deal with him.
Well,
and so it's kind of hard to even want to get to know him. Like, you got to be friends with Will for probably 15, 20 years. For you to want to be in a relationship and understand how he works. This is a little bit too much of a learning curve.
Yeah. And was that Britney mom or was that Britney like grandmother or somebody?
It was her mom, her aunt. The lady that was showing the pictures was her mom.
Oh, okay, because I could have swore she said that whatever you saw your parents do the opposite. Was like she talked about herself?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll say this, right? I think Will showed up as a good boyfriend, husband, whatever. Especially since she said he's the first guy that I ever brought to meet my family and things like that. I think that kind of details how inexperienced she is. And for everybody to basically be happy for Britney, I felt good for Britney, right? But in a way, I felt bad for Britney. Because when you actually go meet the family and everybody's cheering you on and everybody talk about how good you look and how, like, you know what, marriage look good on you and basically, like, I'm hoping for y'all, I'm rooting for y'all. But then you got to go back home with the guy that you don't know where you stand. You get what I'm saying? It kind of
that's hard.
It kind of makes it. It kind of makes your insecurities even more because it's like, my family want this, I want this, but I don't know if the one that I'm with want it. You get what I'm saying? And it can make you kind of go crazy. You know what I'm saying?
And lastly, we find out Megan is pregnant.
All right. Sure. But I feel like this is what Derek wanted.
Yeah, this is what they both wanted, honestly. So, I mean, I do think it's wild to be pregnant on Married at First Sight and after a month of knowing somebody, even if you are married. Yeah. Because, I mean, it's one thing to be in a relationship with somebody and see if whether or not it can work or not. It's another thing to be tied to somebody for a lifetime because you're having a child together. So it's just a lot, but I do hope that she has a healthy pregnancy and, you know, everything turns out good.
Oh yeah, listen here. I just don't like the character that Megan's showing on the show. That don't mean that we wish her any harm on her or the baby. Hopefully everything turned out well. Yeah. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hype the video. We see you.
Bye.